Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is the 8th house and today I have another pick a card reading for you. Today we are asking the question, where is this connection going? So this could be a love connection, romantic connection, it could be a business connection, it could be a platonic connection, you know? It's really up to you. If it's important enough to ask about, it's important enough to read about. Yes, so we're going to read about where this connection is going and where the possible future lies for it. I'll go ahead and introduce the crystals, and while y'all have a chance to go through and pick a pile that resonates with you, then I'll talk a little bit about how the reading is going to go. For pile 1, we have the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot and the Rough Moonstone. For pile 2, we have the Dark Wood Tarot and the Carnelian Heart. And finally, for pile 3, we have the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot and the Labradorite Rough Stone. So go ahead, pause the video if you need to pick a pile. I'm about to talk about how the reading's kind of going to work. So to start off the reading, we're going to look at a few different oracles, trying to discern the energies within the connection as well as the energies across the connection itself. If at any point the two energies seem to crisscross, so like if I pull the first couple of oracles and you're definitely like, yep, number one's me, and then all of a sudden they switch, that's fine. For really strong connections, that does happen sometimes, so just keep in mind that one person will have this energy, and then the connection between you two will be represented by a completely different set of cards. In addition, since this is a predictive reading, the cards can only tell the most likely outcome at this exact moment. Every action and reaction that we perform and exhibit has the ability to change the course. We all have free will and we all have our own, we all have control over our own destiny. But after we pull a few oracles, then we'll look at tarot, get a little bit more in depth of the reading, and then we'll finish off with some channeled messages. Just like the previous reading, I will be using the Rebel deck, and if you don't like foul language or something like that when I say I'm doing channeled messages, feel free to skip ahead or, you know, turn off the video. In addition, I would suggest only picking one pile. However, if you are drawn to multiple and there are multiple different people you would like to read for, then that's perfectly okay. But yeah, starting off with the oracles first, we'll be able to see, you know, the general vibe, the energies that the people are giving off, and if right off the bat nothing makes sense and you can't seem to find anything in common, maybe a different pile is for you. But let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll see you soon. Hey, pile 1, if you picked the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot and the Rough Moonstone, this is going to be your reading. Like I said, we're going to start with some oracles. I shuffled them beforehand, so we'll get to see what's going on. The first person in the connection is being represented by the Fox. This is a clever energy, somewhat childish and playful, but can also be very sneaky. We then have the other person being represented by the Whale. The Whale is wisdom. It's the most mature of the water energies in this animal spirit deck. And so we have someone who sees all, knows all, as well as someone who tries more than likely to hide some things. It may be all in jest, but some things are hidden and the Whale wants to know, and probably already knows, what's going on. For the first person is also being represented by the first quarter moon. Your commitment is being tested. The second person is also being represented by the new moon in Cancer. You and your loved ones are safe. Right off the bat, I'm getting the sense that the fox energy here maybe didn't want to settle down. There may be something in the past that, you know, if this is a romantic connection, I feel like the fox did not want to settle down, didn't want necessarily to get into this relationship, but maybe they fell upon some certain circumstances. I feel some reluctance. And they may actually also have thoughts of leaving, which is where the playfulness, maybe not wanting to be tied down, and maybe even possibly hiding some things is coming into question. The whale, although they are very wise and comfortable in their own energy, I see that there is some worry. I see that maybe the whale worries about the fox's safety. And sometimes all they need to hear is, you're safe, you're loved. Looking at the connection, we have new moon in Capricorn first, which says your hard work is paying off. Now, there could be a sort of, with the fox's attitude that I was building on earlier being one of not really wanting to be tied down, so maybe this relationship is really hard for them, and maybe they actually crave the comfort that the whale gives, despite the whale also being a little bit of a worrywart, it looks like. I also like that 2 new moon cards popped out. That's a fresh beginning. That could be indicative of a newer relationship. However, I feel like it's a little bit older than that. So it may just be indicative of a new chapter coming in terms of this relationship. However, with also Capricorn, this could also be very much could be about like a work relationship where the fox and the whale have become like comrades, brothers in arms, brothers in the trenches kind of thing, and the fox is looking for the first opportunity out while the whale wants everybody to stay and be safe and, you know, help them do the best that they can there. Take that as it resonates, as always. The connection is further being represented by the moon. That is emotion and intuition, as well as cycles and the general population. If this is a work thing, dealing with the general population is probably part of the job. I also see a lot of disconnect in a way where the whale seems to be much more in tune with their emotions and their intuition, and they kind of at least believe that they instinctively know what the fox needs. Excuse me. Whereas the fox is a much more unevolved energy, especially emotionally. All right, let's look at a few more. The fox is also being represented by Guanyin, the goddess of compassion, as well as the stone, celestite, which inspires calmness, inspiration, and serendipity. I feel like the universe, the fox's spirit guides, you know, take it as it resonates, wants them to calm down, wants them to kind of stay put for a little bit. I feel like they've been a little too flighty in the past. The whale, we have the stone pink quartz, as well as the stone of garnet. Pink quartz represents love and open heart and kindness. Garnet represents passion, sensuality, and grounding. I'm showing that I'm seeing that the whale spends a lot of time in their head worrying about people around them when all they need to do is open up and stay with both feet on the ground. And just as I called it, the relationship itself is being marked by the new moon, a new beginning. This is a new chapter or a new relationship. I'm definitely feeling a new chapter, not so much a new relationship. To further get an idea of the energies involved, we have Thanatos, representing the energy of the fox person. So Thanatos is the twin brother of Hypnos in Greek mythology and represents death, fear, the long sleep. But maybe that's kind of what the fox is embodying. It's they are afraid to stay in one place. They might see that as a death of their personality, of their freedom, of their creativity. The whale is being represented by the creator. They clearly have a lot of plans for things, and they may be the one initiating this new moon kind of phase with the fox energy. They may be setting it in motion. And so we have the creation of a new chapter. And so maybe the whale person may be currently in talk with the fox about making this new chapter, trying to get the fox to agree to whatever this next step is. And finally, we have the sustainer for the connection. The sustainer is continuation. It's all about continuation, preservation. And so I definitely feel that this is not a new relationship. This is definitely something that has been ongoing. And whatever it is, the fox may want out, and the whale desperately wants them to stay. Maybe not desperately. The whale definitely wants them to stay. And this is all leading up to some sort of new chapter. But I do not believe it is an ending so far, with hard work paying off and then a new chapter. Not necessarily like us. We're not seeing much of an ending here. It's more of continuation and betterment. That's what I'm seeing. All right, so with all of this out of the way, I'm gonna make some room here. What I'll do is just leave the animal spirit cards out for the people. Oh. Spirit, what can you tell me about the connection between the fox and the whale? Where's this connection going? Where is this connection going, Spirit? Where is this connection going? Right off the bat, we have the world signifying success after hard work, in keeping with the, oh, there's another one under there, in keeping with the new moon in Capricorn. We also have the star right under there, the star being hope and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Think of the stars guiding sailors home in the olden days. Following that, we have the Knight of Candles. The Knight of Candles is passionate, not necessarily flighty, but he is all about action, going and doing things. That's very much the fox's energy, I feel, the not wanting to stay in one spot, the always wanting to move. In the reverse, this is ill-advised. I do believe it is in the fox's best interest to stick around. Spirit, what else can you tell me? Where is this connection going? Where is this connection going between the fox and the whale, Spirit? We also have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse and the Eight of Wands in the reverse. The Ten of Pentacles in the reverse speaks of a lack of stability, whether that be material or spiritual, as well as worrying about a legacy, what's going to happen when you're gone. And I feel like, again, that's very much the fox's energy. It's if I stay here, how do I know I'm not missing out on something more? If I don't experience more, if I don't impact more people, excuse me, I've gotten very thirsty. If I don't impact more people, who's going to remember me? That sort of vibe is what I'm getting. The Eight of Candles, or Eight of Wands, is very indicative of fast travel, good communication, going and doing things quickly. And I do feel like if the fox is going to get away, it's going to be with the whale. That's what I'm seeing here. That's the only way that they're going to succeed and get everything they want and be able to see that light at the tunnel all the way through. Giving in to these immature energies of the fox, of wanting to run and being overly worried about stability and structure and how it affects outlooks. I also see a little bit of the whale in this one, the worry, the is everything okay? You know, the new moon in Cancer that we had. But I'm definitely seeing that cooperation is the key. And wherever the fox goes, the whale needs to go. Or, you know, vice versa, whatever. But that's the only way that success is going to come from this relationship. So let's get a few channeled messages. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Spirit, what messages do you have for the fox and the whale? Spirit, what messages do you have for the fox and the whale? Spirit. Ooh, okay. Got a little bit more than I wanted, but you know, we will take what we can get. We have, you're going through some shit. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Get your tired ass up and handle it. Yeah, we'll just keep going through. You think someone is lying. They are. You do you. Stop trying to change people. That shit never works. Stop sleeping so damn much. Wake up. You're missing some cool shit. And it's dark and you can't see a fucking thing. Get your head out of your ass. Pronto. I definitely feel like the lying card is very much toward the whale. Because they're so worried about everything. And what's lying is that negative part of the brain. Like, there's something to worry about. Somebody's not okay. Something's wrong. And it's lying. It's just lying. You need to stop worrying so much, Mr. Whale. Or Miss Whale. I don't judge. I also feel like this could be indicating that the whale's efforts to sort of change the fox's mind into staying with them in one spot is not going to work. That's why the whale kind of needs to let the fox wander, but also follow the fox. So that they can continue working together. The sleeping too damn much. You're missing some cool shit. Come back to that one. The head out of your ass is definitely toward the fox, in my opinion. Like, get your head out of your ass, realize you have a good thing, and work with it. And you're going through some tough shit. Is very much the fox energy wanting to leave, and it's saying, no, get your ass up, handle it, because that's what needs to be done. As far as the stop sleeping so damn much, you're missing some cool shit. I feel like because the whale spends so much time in their head, it's almost like it's a dream. I guess more of a nightmare because they worry. But you're missing all of this cool shit that the cards are saying is in store for you because you're worried about how it's going to end up. Just stop. But yeah, the fox doesn't need to quell their energy. They just need to adapt a little bit better to the whale being around. And the whale needs to stop worrying and help the fox channel their energy to productive means. That's what this spread to me says. I certainly hope that it resonated. If it did, hit the like and subscribe buttons and leave a comment. And I'll see you in the next reading group 1. Bye. Hey there, pal 2. If you chose the Carnelian Heart as well as the Darkwood Tarot, this is going to be your reading today. Let's slide this over to the side. So first we're going to look at some oracles, as I said, to get a general feel for the energies involved in the connection as well as the connection itself. I will say before I start that Pile 2, your oracles were the most vocal. I had like 2 or 3 jump out at me while I was shuffling, so take that as it resonates. The first person is representing, or being represented rather, by the bear. This is a immature earth energy. The card represents the bear just waking up out of hibernation. This could be someone who is just coming to light with the situation. Maybe it's been an on again, off again kind of thing, and they're finally realized, yeah, we need to be on. This could be someone who's been maybe stuck in a rut professionally and has just realized, you know what, I do need something new. Or, you know, anything in that sort of realm. The other person is being represented by the bee, which is a very immature air energy. When I think of bees, I think of, you know, the worker and soldier bees that will sting to defend the nest, but it will kill them. So there's a little bit of self-destructive tendencies, but in a good way. The self-sacrificial tendencies, there we go, that's a bit better. I will say right off the bat, these are not very intermingly signs. The bear is earth, bee is air, those are opposites, so the relationship could be a little strained, but let's see what's going on. The bear also has on their side the new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. I'm not getting a reading either way, but I definitely feel, yes, this is a new thing that we have realized, and I now know I need it and I want it. So I'm going to get it because I deserve it. Confidence. For the bee, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. The full moon is the ending of a cycle, rather, or not the ending, but the culmination of a cycle, whereas the new moon is a beginning of a cycle. And Capricorn is the sign of hard work. The connection itself being represented by the full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecast. I like this. We're both doing well. Even though we're both coming from far different backgrounds. And by all accounts, we probably shouldn't even really get along. We're both winning. Very, very good. It's further represented by the sign of Gemini. Gemini is the sign of communication, of intellect, and academic and mental versatility. So there's a lot of adaptability here. Gemini being the mutable air sign. Continuing on, the bear person is also being represented by the last quarter moon, release, as well as the stone pyrite, confidence, luck, prosperity. I like this. We're all agreeing. Release the past. Whatever that was, whatever you had that you didn't want and you didn't deserve, let it go. Be confident and take what you want, because that's how you're going to get what you want. The bee person is being represented by the Moonstone, intuition, divine feminine, and moon magic, as well as space. Hold space for your difficult emotions. So yes, this has been a lot of hard work, a lot of hardship I'm seeing, and the bee needs to remember to make space for their difficult emotions, to deal with them properly, because if we don't deal with emotions properly, they will explode. And then the moon is also here as ruling Cancer, the emotional sign. So yes, all of this is agreeing to me. We need to talk things out. We need to know what we're going for, and we need to know how to work through our emotions. Connection is further being represented by Pachamama, the Mother Cosmos. So that's all about very much the big picture, as well as the Divine Feminine. So we have a lot of link up here. The bear is also being represented by the Maiden. The word that came to mind is virgin. Could be completely wrong. If this is a romantic endeavor, though, and they are a virgin, that would make sense. They finally feel like it's time. But it could be a more metaphorical virgin. You know, they're just waking up. This is their first time in maybe something as serious as this. It doesn't have to be romantic, but certainly a lot of emotions are involved. This partnership, at the very least, can be volatile if we don't handle our emotions well. The bee, represented by the poet, they're probably creative. Maybe they've lost touch with their creative side, and that's why their emotions can get out of whack. They will probably tend to take things personally, especially if they've been through a lot in their life. But the connection itself is being represented by the desert, which is very harsh. This is a harsh situation between these two. However, we will come out on top together, is what the cards say. Despite the blistering heat, despite the no water, despite being alone or feeling alone, we will come out on top. As long as the bear remembers, I want this. I'm going for this. And the bee remembers that whatever the bear has going on, that doesn't necessarily affect them. The bear's problems are the bear's problems. They've been through enough of their own stuff that they just need to learn how to deal with things that they've gone through and are going through. Then we can come together, communicate what we want, join, and overcome the desert. But take that as it resonates. I'm going to go ahead and make some space, and then we will get into the tarot. I'm just going to leave the animal cards out. Spirit, where's this connection between the bear and the bee going? Where's this connection between the bear and the bee going, Spirit? Where is this connection between the bear and the bee going? We have the Page of Cups in the reverse. I'm getting the sense this is not a new relationship, or the Page of Cups can indicate children in some case. So in the reverse, this could be a same-sex marriage where children can't biologically happen. Or there could be difficulty giving birth. Ooh, the World came out again. I like this. Positive vibes. Yes, the World came out in the last reading too. We own the world. It's success after hard work. And yeah, we have a lot of work that we got to put in. But eventually, we gonna own the world, baby. Oh, wow. Sorry, this is a new deck, and I am trying to ruin it, apparently. I also have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. The Two of Pentacles speaks of balance, usually work-life balance, which I can see that both of these spirits, both of these people can struggle with work-life balance, but I feel like it's also speaking about an imbalance between the two of them. I feel like the bear needs to focus more on what they want and not so much appeasing others or giving others what they want, whereas the bee needs to focus a lot more on what they feel and what they've been through in order to help support the bear and themselves. There's some sort of imbalance between these two. We then have the Six of Wands, which is all about recognition and stability. You did a good job, and now you're being praised for it. So that's what That's what's coming up at the end once we overcome these things. And then we have the King of Wands in the reverse. The King of Wands in the reverse can be domineering. So I almost feel like there are two paths here. It's like, yes, we can have the world. But if we don't deal with this, these are the things that can happen. So if we do deal with our past, and deal with what we want and what we feel, bear and bee, we can get to the Six of Wands. Excuse me. We can see success and prominence, maybe even a little bit of fame after hard work. However, if we don't, if this Two of Pentacles stays reversed, then we have the King of Wands who is domineering, who doesn't comprehend how much strength he actually holds. The bee could turn emotionally manipulative given everything that they've been through. The bear could turn either into a complete people pleaser, not catering to their own wills, or they can become overly selfish. So take that as it resonates. Let's close it out with a few channeled messages. Spirit, what messages do you have for the bear and the bee? What messages do you have for the bear and the bee, Spirit? What messages do you have for the bear and the bee, Spirit? What messages do you have for the bear and the bee? What messages do you have for the bear and the bee, Spirit? So we have, don't fucking force it. Allow that shit to come to you. I think that's directed at the bear. Though, we need to know what we want and we need to go for it. Don't force it. The universe provides, God provides, our higher self provides, our spirit guides provide, you know, whatever you subscribe to. But we are provided when the time is right and not a minute before. You need a big fucking hug. Squeeze. I feel that as bee energy. Bee's been through a lot, as we saw. They need a hug. Coincidentally, we call really big hugs bear hugs. Put the fucking phone down. Too much screen time is making you awkward and sad. Go talk to a live person. I was talking about escapism. I feel like that's very much bee-type energy in this reading, where they've been through so much and they need to find space to deal with it. But they're not. Escapism. Escapism sucks. Stop texting, stop stalking, stop checking on that person. Just fucking stop. Spend your time on someone worth it. Don't waste it on ridiculousness. I feel like this could go either way in a metaphorical sense. In a literal sense, I'd see this much more as a bee thing, but it could, in a romantic sense, also apply to the bear, where we need to figure out what our time is worth and then what is worth actually pursuing with our time. Yeah, I definitely do see this. I actually see it a lot more as bear energy too. I think this is a good coming together energy card. Yeah, I certainly hope that that resonated. If it did, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment. And yeah, I'll see you in the next reading, group 2. Bye. Hey, group 3. If you chose the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot and the Labradorite Rough Stone, this is going to be your reading. Oh my God, I dropped it. No. Yeah, good. All right, I'm just going to move the tarot deck out of the way. We're going to start with these oracle cards that I shuffled previously. We're going to look at the general energies involved in the connection as well as the connection itself. So the first person in the connection is represented by the dragonfly. The dragonfly is fairly evolved air energy and is considered to be fairly smart for an insect, mostly because they are some of the only flying animals that can fly in any direction. The other is represented by the spider. We have two insectoid beings. Of course, the spider is also an earth sign, and it's about creativity and hard work. We see the spider is sitting on the web that she worked very hard to weave. So together, right off the bat, we do see that one is air and one is earth. These are opposite signs. However, that also popped up in the last reading, and it went pretty well, I must say. The dragonfly person is also being represented by the full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. Right off the bat, we're starting A, yes. B, I see where this is going. I'm sorry in advance. But dragonfly, yes, you are good enough. The spider, represented by the full moon, surrender to the divine, the sort of culmination of a cycle, the full moon. Speaking of, the dragonfly is also a full moon, just in a particular sign. And Virgo is the sign of being critical. Anybody else seeing where this is going? The connection itself is going to be represented by new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. Honestly, I feel like the dragonfly has done enough of this. Maybe that's talking to the spider. Or maybe they need to come together and do it. Come together and think it through. Right now, I'm not getting huge vibes on whether it's one type of connection or the other, but let's see what happens. Fire, passion, drive, sex. Yeah. Especially with the new moon in Pisces behind it, I do feel like this is very much think before you act energy. The dragonfly person is also being represented by self-care. Take care of your wonderful self first. And black tourmaline, which is a stone. Protection, recharging, and grounding. Yes, I definitely see where this is going. The dragonfly is overly self-critical of themselves. Like, holy shit. And they need to come back down to earth and take care of themselves instead of harping on what they've done wrong or what they could have done in a different way. They just need to learn, hey, that happened. Let me move on. I need to take care of myself. The spider is being represented by universal love. Choose love. As well as the stone, citrine, goal setting, abundance, and positive energy. I do like that with the full moon. That is a culmination of a cycle, as well as the spider being on her web she worked so hard to weave. Also, I'm sorry about gendering issues. If you identify with the dragonfly energy, but you are not male, I know I've said Mr. Dragonfly, and I just said her web for the spider. It's just my brain talking. Gender means nothing here. And then the connection itself, represented by selenite, purification, moon magic, and energy shield. Yes, I believe that the best way for the dragonfly to become grounded is to interact with the spider. I feel like this is very much, right now, I'm feeling this is very much friendship energy, where the dragonfly is all up in their head, very critical of themselves, very anxious, very scared, very worried, and every time they hang out with the spider's just like, no bitch, you got it. And I need you to say that about 30 times until you start to believe it. And I feel like that's what happens when they come together. So yeah, I like all of this. I also feel like with the dragonfly being very much in their head, that they can have a tendency, as ironic as it sounds, to think or act before they think, where they work themselves up so much that they either do nothing or they explode with action. And the spider's kind of there as the mediating force, being like, nope, bring it down. And we calmly think about it. And like surrender to the divine, I feel like that's a mantra for the spider, is just like, yep, it is what it is. I'm going to choose love. I'm going to choose to do what I can and push out that positive energy. But ultimately, it's not up to me. Especially if it's like out of my control, that's not up to me. While the dragonfly seems to worry about everything. So, moving on, I'm going to remove most of the oracles. I'm going to leave the animal cards out so that we know, so that we can refer back during the tarot reading. Spirit, where's this connection between the dragonfly and the spider going? Where's this connection between the dragonfly and the spider going? We have the King of Cups, who is very emotionally sturdy. Big spider energy in this reading. Where's this connection between the dragonfly and the spider going? Where's this connection between the dragonfly and the spider going? We have the Three of Cups, community, friendship, maybe even a little bit of a celebration. Drink a drink. Where's this connection between the dragonfly and the spider going? The Seven of Swords, our first difficult card. Excuse me. The Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords speaks of thievery, secrecy, sneaky behavior. But in the reverse, it's being revealed. Something is coming to light. I feel like the spider is maybe helping the dragonfly realize that they've been maybe self-sabotaging or something like that. Or possibly that the spider is realizing where he, she, they can improve on that in their own life. Something along those lines. Either way, a secret is coming. Either way, a secret is coming out. Where's this connection between the dragonfly and the spider going, Spirit? For the last two, we have the Four of Cups in the reverse and the Knight of Pentacles. Lots of cup energy. Judgment on the back. The Four of Cups is usually about emotional stability. And yeah, coming to terms with things. There is a non-acceptance going on. I'm immediately reminded of what I said about the spider helping the dragonfly realize that they've been self-sabotaging or something along those lines. And then with the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, very indicative of possessiveness is a big word here. The Knight of Pentacles is all about action, but he is the slowest of the knights, being of the suit of earth. But in the reverse, not only are we not really moving, we very, 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 very much do not want anything else changing either. The dragonfly here, I feel, is very stubborn despite their intellect being of the suit of air. The spider may have their work cut out for them. And maybe the spider will also learn things along the way that they didn't expect to learn. Let's get some channeled messages. Spirit, what do you want to say to the dragonfly and the spider? What do you want to say to the dragonfly and the spider? What do you want to say to the dragonfly and the spider? What do you want to say to the dragonfly and the spider? What do you want to say to the dragonfly and the spider? All right, here we go. First to pop out, stop fucking whining. No one wants to listen to that shit. Complaining makes you weak. You have the strength to change your world, so do it. I feel like this is something the spider has told the dragonfly any number of times. Drop the fucking ego. Vulnerability is hot as fuck. I feel like this is toward both, but mostly the dragonfly. As someone who has had a history of self-sabotaging, it is a lot of ego-driven, which is counterintuitive, but that's how it is. Damn it. It is kind of ego-driven, and that's just how it is. And then with the spider, I feel like they tend to be closed off. Because they're usually the hype man, they don't need to open up. Take a shot. pulling from the Three of Cups energy. Don't take 12, take 1. Okay, maybe 2. Move on. Don't overdo it. Celebrate your small victories. Celebrate with your friends, but don't overdo it. Shame, regret, and guilt. Those are just bullshit. Forgive. Let that shit go. Definitely dragonfly message. The dragonfly holds on to things, and mostly things that they've done. They can't forgive themselves. That's the energy that I'm picking up. And do forgive me. As I was wrapping up the reading, I realized I forgot a whole set of oracles for pile 3, and I don't want to leave y'all out. So, continuing, or I guess, whatever. The dragonfly person's also being represented as the stone. They might be seen as very sturdy, but they themselves see themselves as very fragile. The spider representing the flame. The flame is passion, drive, it's fire. I also immediately thought of the phrase, the spider is lighting the fire under the dragonfly's ass. And their connection is the village. There's something deep about community here. Community and belonging. I feel like even though these two are from different worlds, when they come together, everything just kind of makes sense. That's what I'm feeling. But overall, dragonfly, get the fuck out of your head. Listen to the spider. Spider, maybe get into your head a little more. Work together, make that future. But yes, I hope this resonated. If it did, hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next reading, Pile 3. Bye.